Yeah, man, I'm excited to unpack this one, Just. I remember being on the dating apps, and after a while, it just became like the gamification of dating. I was spending hours and hours just scrolling, going through hundreds of profiles. And the weird thing is, the more I rejected women, the more it boosted my ego. Like, I felt like I'm the one rejecting, they can't reject me, right? And I remember I think the poison for me was I was addicted to the matches, bro. It was like a dopamine hit. I just wanted to see who would match with me, and then I would never hit them up. I was just like, oh, you see, yeah, I know she likes me, but I would never actually go out on a date or anything like that. So yeah, man, these institutions are these dating apps are a business, right? Like they're in the business of making money, and unfortunately, part of that involves them selling hope to you. They're selling love, the lustrous idea that you will potentially meet someone if you stay on this app and keep swiping.
Imagine this business of dating apps, not including Instagram, because Instagram truly is the biggest dating app because it has the same components. It's just not intended for that. But if we're talking about Bumble, if we're talking about Hinge, we're talking about all the little side quest dating apps that are for more specific communities. We're talking about a $4 billion business. Dating apps are not designed for you to meet your partner and get off of them because if they were designed for that, what would happen? You wouldn't have an app to go back on, and they couldn't sell you any more premium packages. They couldn't sell you any more ad options, and they definitely couldn't put more women in front of you for you to endlessly be swiping. And Rich, unfortunately, we know about swipe culture because we're building a platform ourselves. And you don't mean to tell me that if the carrot that these dating apps are dangling is the carrot of one day you too will be happy, but just keep paying Hinge's premium subscription. Keep paying to boost yourself on a Friday night so you can have something to do when you're sitting at home all alone, lonely, and feeling desperate because you have no options. Isn't this a trap?
Bro, it's so predatory. Think about the idea of boosting yourself
I
online.
I did it. I
I
did
did it
it.
too. I did it too.
And if I was traveling for work, I was triple boosting because I was in the city for a week. Yes.
Or the, "Yo, do you wanna buy a half a dozen digital
Oh
roses
shit, I
to
forgot
send
about that.
to a couple women that you like?"
Put it at the top of her inbox.
Part of the I feel like the poison of dating apps, which by the way, I'm not against dating apps. Like I was very much on the dating apps, but I do remember sort of not giving women the enough time that they deserve to make an educated opinion about them. So if you go on the profile, you look at their picture, you look at a couple of replies of some questions, and what, in 10 seconds, you're making a decision on this girl? Like, your whole love life comes down to a 10-second yes or no, right? And you're doing that hundreds of times. So, I don't know, man, I feel like you become really desensitized when you only give a woman's profile 10 seconds of your time. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. And if we're talking exclusively about dating apps, this is like a casino. They're going to give you the 1 in 10 win so you could come back 9 more times. And you don't have to be a math major or a polymath to know that if you come back 10 times and you only get 1 win, that means 8 times the house wins. I'm not demonizing or shitting on dating apps. I'm saying you have to stack the odds back in your favor. So when I was single, I wasn't single because I wanted to be single. I was single because I literally picked up my entire life and moved from New York to Los Angeles, California for my career. So I wasn't someone that was down on my luck, but I definitely had to start from scratch. I didn't have a friend circle. I didn't have any women that I already knew. I didn't go to high school here. I didn't go to college here. I just had a few coworkers that I knew that were single and were hanging out, guys and girls. And I had to start from scratch, Rich. So you better believe I too was hitting that motherfucking Hinge and Bumble ad boost button. Like, bro, if I had to, I get mad when I look at my savings account and I think about how much money I spent going premium on all these dating apps because I had to expedite the exposure that I was getting. And listen, I do marketing and professional advertising for a living. So all I really do all day professionally is try to figure out where I'm getting an advantage for each dollar. If I put a dollar in, am I getting a dollar plus back? Dating apps is just exposure. And then the dollar plus is, am I getting a date? Am I getting a match? Is there potentially someone that could end my fucking misery? That's really what this whole game is about. I don't want to demonize the apps. But I think these are very bright and brilliant investors that put a lot of money into this because there's no win in that game. You have to triple and quadruple the options that you have, which is real life. That is how you combat dating apps. You have to live in the real world and you have to go all in on the real world. Now, I know that's difficult for the guys in our community, given the circumstances of most young men today. That's not lost on me, but it still matters that if you don't have money and you feel depressed from being on dating apps all day and you're not getting matched with the kind of women you want to get matched with, or you're swiping on women that never swipe back on you, I get it. But you have to stack the chips in your favor. You have to become the casino. You have to become the house and stack the odds in your favor. And how do you do that? We're going to get into that in this episode today.
Yeah. And just, exactly what you just said. Think about the convenience of you being in your living room on the couch, meeting women, right? Like where else
Yeah.
on the
We
on
talked
this
about it in the
planet.
beginning. Your uncles, your father, your tios, how did they do it back in the day?
Yeah, bro, it's just smooth talking, either in the laundromat, the supermarket, church, you know what I mean? Just at work sometimes, which I don't advise.
Well, with caution, outside of work, you gotta with caution. Yeah, don't. I
Yeah.
want to give this actionable advice immediately. If you're gonna do it at the workplace and you work for a big company, don't do it within your immediate team or someone that you interface with on the day to day. Try doing it with someone in an entire part of the company that you don't interface with, or someone that is explicitly giving you signs and energy. Don't assume people like you if they work with you. It's a crazy trap. Sorry, Rich. Disclaimer. I had to
I
give that
like that
disclaimer. Yeah.
disclaimer. We're gonna
Yeah.
put that on the video because I like that disclaimer. But yeah, bro, like I just want to share that part of why I joined the dating apps was because of the convenience. Like where else was I gonna meet 50 to 100 women in the span of 30 minutes, right? And the other thing that probably a big issue too is you think that because you're downloading more dating apps that you're increasing the probability. So
Mm.
now you're paying 1 subscription, 2 subscription, you got Tinder,
I had
Hinge,
them all,
Bumble.
Rich. I swear
Yeah,
to
me
God.
too, me
I had them all. If somebody didn't tell me what Grinder
Yeah.
was, it would have got it downloaded. I swear
Hey,
to God.
yo.
I was like,
I'm
what's this app? Fuck it, I'm in.
dating? Yes. S
Christian Mingle, I'm in. All of them.
subscribed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was Christian for a whole 3 months.
Yeah, and, they lure you in and say, "Oh, you ran out of swipes today, but for
Damn. You're giving me
29.99."
PTSD. You're giving me PTSD. I swear, this was like a year and a half of my life, Rich.
Bro, this is like 2
I was
years of my
down
life.
bad. I was down
Yeah.
bad until I wasn't.
For sure. But yeah, for 29.99, you can get an extra unlimited swipes. And now you can get that dopamine hit that you're looking for forever. Unlimited.
Rich, I do want to ask you. I do want to ask you because I have a few stories, and I know we discussed in the pre-show that we got to tread lightly because we are currently in happy relationships, and we don't want to pick old scabs. But something that I tell my significant other often, and I'm sure the same could be said about you, Rich, is I wasn't hiding in my kitchen the whole time before you met me. This beautiful face was out in the wild trying to find a partner, and I might have met a few people. So if you see someone or know someone that knows me, just know that I didn't pick them and I chose you. So that is a disclaimer to the loved ones in our fucking families. We want to get into some war stories when we were in the dating world. Rich, I explained my scenario. I moved from New York to LA because of work. I didn't have a lot of friends out here. I had to build from scratch. I didn't even know where to go on dates. I didn't know what was the temperature. I didn't know where the hoods were at. I didn't know where I didn't belong, where I did belong. I didn't even have a fucking car. How about that? And LA is a driving city. What was some of the hurdles that you were experiencing when you were on the apps and you were single?
Bro, I have a million war stories. But one that I can recall was I went out on a date with this girl. She lived very close to Connecticut, so it was about an hour and some change drive. I was already like angry about this drive because I drove all the way over there. Bro, I remember this is the first date. And while we're on this date, maybe about 20 minutes into the conversation, shows me her phone and it's an engagement ring. And she was like, "Oh, look," just casually, "Oh, look, this is the engagement ring that I'm interested in. $22,000."
Wait, wait, wait,
And
wait,
it
wait. She showed you the engagement ring she wants.
yes, on the first date. red flag, right?
Yeah,
Immediately
actually, this is a
violation.
red flag episode now. Dating red flag. What the fuck? What was she, 43 and dying from cancer? Why did she
22.
show you an engagement ring on the first night?
Yeah, but I don't know, bro.
She wanted to see how you
22,000.
reacted. Got it.
Yes. And I
How did you
found
react?
I was like, "Oh, wow, that's a nice ring." I'm like, "Some lucky guy's gonna have to work really hard to buy you
Being
that
that I
ring."
drove 70,000 miles in 2 hours, I was just looking for somebody to give me half of the gas.
Yeah. So it was a mixture of that. Most of the date was her prying on my religious beliefs. She was very religious, which I didn't know until I got to the date. And there were some differences there. I'm not uber religious, but I do have beliefs and I believe in spirituality and things like that. But I'm not associated with one religion or another or a diehard of any type of religious belief, but she was very much a Christian, and that was sort of like a deal breaker for her. And I was just like, man, like, what am I signing up for? Like, I'm getting the ring presented to me. She's trying to push her uh, Christian beliefs on me, and it quickly turned into something that I didn't expect. Ultimately, we kind of broke it off and didn't continue dating, but it just reminded me of like how important it is to so one rule that I absolutely live by, not anymore, but what I used to live by is you have to FaceTime her before you go on a date. Yes. You have to FaceTime her before you go on a date. You have to see what she looks like. You have to see what she sounds like. You have to analyze the chemistry between you guys, throw a couple jokes in there, see if they land, right? See if there's natural chemistry, see how she communicates, see how she looks. She's obviously going to be all maked up and dolled up because she's visually seeing you for the first time. But that is the first screening post matching on the dating app that you should absolutely have before you go out on that first date.